I did an update video for Classic WoW heading into 2023, but quite a few things have changed since that point in time. There have been some big announcements made, and even a new game mode confirmed. With this in mind, I figured I'd do an update for people looking for information on the game, to find out what is currently available in the Classic WoW world, and to hear about what will be out in the future. So that is what we are going to be covering today, starting with Vanilla and its different versions, and then progressing to the most up-to-date Classic game, Wrath of the Lich King. But before we go on, a quick word from today's sponsor, Rise of Kingdoms. Rise of Kingdoms is an epic cross-platform strategy game that takes players on an immersive journey throughout various historical eras. In Rise of Kingdoms, you can choose from 14 historical civilizations that have truly existed, including the newest one, Greece. Famous generals and unique military units from different civilizations will obey your every command as you build your own legends on the battlefield. The Greek civilization features exclusive commanders and special units, the Argiraspides, that will add new levels of excitement to the game. To celebrate Greece joining the battlefield, the Civilization Clash event will allow players to compete for their own civilizations. There are tons of other exciting features for you to find in Rise of Kingdoms, including seamless world maps, customizable architecture, and much more. Download Rise of Kingdoms now by clicking the first link in the description or pinned comment, or by scanning the QR code. Participate in the Civilization Clash event by clicking the second link in the description, with a chance to win special prizes, including Apple Vision Pro and video game consoles. Also, for new players, don't forget to use the promo code GREASE4ROK for 20 silver keys. Many thanks to Rise of Kingdoms for the sponsor today. Let's get back to WoW. No king rules forever were some of the memorable closing words of Wrath of the Lich King, but no one told Vanilla about this. The original version of the game has seen a huge growth in players over the past few months. First, we'll be covering the Classic Era realms. These realms were created when Classic originally moved to TBC, and have always been a place where Vanilla enjoyers can go back. At the time, Blizzard took a snapshot of all servers and allowed players to transfer their character to Era realms instead of progressing to TBC, or you could pay money to clone your character to Era and have it progress to TBC as well. This service where you could pay to clone your character has now been removed from the Blizzard shop. We've heard no word of it returning, so if you did not copy your character, you're gonna have to go fresh. Fortunately though, a lot of players are choosing to go fresh. Though these realms are fully progressed with no future content to come, they still very much have that vanilla feeling intact. It's impressive to see, but in 2023, many players are going back to vanilla once again. The capital cities are busy, tons of items on the auction house, so trading is going well, and there's plenty of players in leveling zones, doing dungeons, questing, all of that good stuff. There are also a good number of guilds at endgame, both doing the early game raids all the way to Nax Rammus. So if you did want to play Classic once again, the option is definitely there for you, and it's not like you are behind anyone or anything else. I mean, these realms have existed for years at this point in time. I should also mention the Era realms have been consolidated into clusters, so you will see someone's name followed by their realm if they're on one which is different to you. There is only one PvE cluster on each region, so you can play on which anyone you want if you want PvE. For PvP clusters though, which tend to have more players in general, there are 2 clusters per region, so you do need to pick the right one. The right one is basically any PvP realm that doesn't say low population on the realm screen though, but the go-to servers are Whitemane 4 NA and Firemore 3U. The RP realms are not part of any cluster, and one of them in each region has also been repurposed for something else, but more on that later. I know it's not exactly the same experience as a fresh, and no, there has not been any confirmation of a fresh at all, but if you wanted the standard vanilla gameplay, Classic Era is where you want to be. However, let's say you did want something to shake up your vanilla experience a bit. Well, there is also good news there. It's just a bit further off in the future at this point in time. You may remember the first vanilla seasonal server called Season of Mastery, which closed, according to plan, not so long ago. This season focused on buffing the endgame raids, as well as making targeted changes to certain areas of the game that were deemed problematic, such as boosting and instance gold farming. Since then, it's recently been confirmed that Blizzard are working on the next seasonal server at the moment, with information on what this season will be to come later this year, and I will certainly be covering it whenever they do release more information, of course. It's presumed this season will be around the vanilla version of the game once again, again, and I could very well see this second seasonal server taking things in a more extreme direction than Season of Mastery did. I think a large amount of people are expecting some form of class tuning to try and level the playing field a little bit between the overpowered specs and the meme specs, but at this point in time that's just speculation. But wait, there is more for vanilla. So recently you've probably heard about players taking on the Hardcore challenge in classic WoW. It's a community-driven game mode that really started to grow on two of the classic era realms, those being Hydraction Waterlords on EU and Bloodsail Buccaneers on NA. The really short version of what this game mode is about is that it challenges you to reach level 60 in classic World of Warcraft without ever having had your character die. Those two realms that I just mentioned are still very active, by the way, but they are the unofficial ones, where players use an add-on called Hardcore to track their progress and try and keep people honest in their goal of hitting level cap with a character that's never died. But just recently, Blizzard have committed to making Hardcore realms official. As of doing this video, the PTR for Hardcore is currently active, where players can hop on and test out how Blizzard will be doing this game mode. I have done a video on the current state of the PTR and the changes Blizzard are planning, which I'll link at the top right of this video and in the description if you wanted to hear more about that. Oh, and by the way, you can play the PTR without a subscription as long as you've already created a PTR account, which does need a subscription. The release date for Hardcore Realms is currently later this summer, so hopefully that doesn't mean mid-September or something. But if you did want to try this game mode before the official release, get the Hardcore add-on from CurseForge, roll on Bloodsail Buccaneers NA or Hydraction Waterlords EU, log in and just give it a try. Or you can go on the PTR and see how things will be on Blizzard's end, if the PTR is up, that is. That is it for vanilla then, on to TBC. Well, unfortunately for TBC enjoyers, it's still all quiet from Blizzard. When our characters moved to Wrath, there were no TBC era servers made, and we did not have the chance to clone our characters at all. Just as a comparison, when Classic Era was first made, it was looking very dead for a very long time. For real, some of these busy realms nowadays would have under 100 items on the auction house, and a handful of players online at peak time. It's taken a while, but I think it's clear that the idea behind era servers does work, just not immediately. And I've already seen posts start to crop up online about people missing TBC or wanting to go back to Outland as a level 70. You do wonder if Blizzard has backups of our characters as they were at level 70 in their Sunwell gear, or whether they're gone forever now. And I have a feeling people would not be quite as keen to go fresh on TBC compared to Classic because, well, the TBC content starts at level 58 minimum, and that is after a lot of vanilla questing. That might be a tough ask for the average person to do. You know, even if Blizzard just put up one PvP and one PvE TBC era realm, made a post saying something along the line of, we should have done this to start with, leave Joyous Journeys on between levels 1 and 60 and see how it goes, it would probably be more popular than you think, eventually, anyway. Either way, nothing official for TBC at the moment. I am still optimistic for it existing at some point after seeing how well Classic Era is doing now, but who knows whether or not Blizzard will do it. Which brings us to our current expansion in Classic, Wrath of the Lich King. At this point in time, we are well beyond the halfway point, it's safe to say that. The most recent raid tier to drop is Trial of the Grand Crusader, which was about a month or so ago. Ulduar is still being run though. Blizzard increased the item level of gear that drops in there, so Trial just doesn't totally replace it. So even as a latecomer to Wrath, there is still a chance to see this raid tier. Trial isn't all that bad though. It's a very short raid and the heroic system gives out tons of gear, making it super fast to catch up or re-roll. You could probably have a character caught up and ready for ICC in a matter of weeks this expansion. As for ICC itself, the release date is not yet known, but I can't see Trial of the Grand Crusader lasting for more than 3 months or so. So probably ICC or late September, early October, that kind of time frame. We will hopefully know a good month or so in advance of when ICC is dropping, but it's Blizzard, so you never really know. Also worth a mention, the WoW token is in Wrath Classic now. That's a pretty big change to the game. You can't exchange the token on Classic for Battle.net balance, but otherwise it works the same way as retail. You buy the token for real money, you sell for in-game gold, or you buy with in-game gold in exchange for 30 days game time. We don't know at this point in time yet whether Wrath Era Realms will be a thing, but I'm expecting more demand for them than there was for TBC. So then, what is the future of Classic? Well, we have a few things confirmed already. We have the hardcore servers in summer, we have the next season later this year. What about after Wrath of the Lich King though? Well, all signs point towards us carrying on into Cataclysm, perhaps the most diversive addition to Classic as a game so far, but one that equally I would bet a lot of people are looking forwards to. There have been a few surveys sent out from Blizzard going around about Cata to gauge players' interests, and it's very much in line with how Classic has progressed so far. BlizzCon is also happening this year at the start of November, and I'll be very surprised if we don't get a Cataclysm announcement then. Who knows though, maybe we even get a roadmap beyond that for Classic. We can dream, right? And that is just about it. So the TLDR is, if you like your standard vanilla, go play Era. If you want something different, you have hardcore, or you can wait for the news on the next season. TBC enjoyers don't have options at the moment, and Wrath is well underway, ICC's a few months off, and no, it's not too late to join the game in case you're wondering. It is so fast to catch up and gear this expansion. And finally, I'd expect Cata to be announced at BlizzCon in November and to drop sometime in spring 2024. And that is the current state of Classic WoW in 2023. So I hope this answered any questions you had and gave you an idea of what will be coming in the future. But as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening in, and I'll see you all in the next one very soon.